Introducing the TradingView Slingshot Special Edition. So we brought the Slingshot out, the xBrat Slingshot for NinjaTrader way over a year ago, and at that point TradingView was not advanced enough for us to actually, or we couldn't even find a coder to do it for us, but we've managed to do it. We've had it with the beta testers, we've made some changes, and we're ready to launch the xBrat Slingshot for TradingView, and we put a special edition together to help you get the most of it. So let's go through some of the types of trades and how it behaves. So first of all, we have three types of trades. Type 1 trades are pretty much the ones that we see more often. Type 1 trade is probably 80% of the trades that we get on there, on the Slingshot, and this is Euro US dollar on a 3-minute Heikin-Ashi. Some of the things I want to talk about, what's on the chart. So we have 3 pullback zones. So this came down here, pulled back into this 75% zone. So that's a 75%, that's an 80%, that's an 85%. So these pullback zones, these are probability pullback zones. It's going to go and hit target 2. So there's target 1, there's target 2. So this particular pullback found resistance in the 75% zone. So there's a 75%, it's going to hit target 2, and it did. And look at that double bottom there, and it tried to come back up again as well. This is a really, really strong and accurate target level for these pullback zones. We have target 3 as well, which can get blown through sometimes, especially with type 2s and type 3s. And then we have our trailing stop printed as well for that type of trade. At the bottom there, which is not included in there, is just the bias depth heat map for our confirmations, if you like, and we know lots, in fact thousands of people who already use this. So the next type is a type 1 trade again. This time it's on gold futures, I think. We can see we get a type 1 buy at this point here. This actually found support in this first pullback zone, so that's an 85% probability to hit target 2. It actually just tipped target 3 there before it came back and took out the trailing stop. You see on this previous zone there wasn't a signal because it didn't meet the criteria for the Slingshot signals. Not to say that the pullback zone wasn't good, and this is why we don't get rid of it, because this is where we start to introduce the VWAP Predator. So this is that same chart, but now I've put the VWAP Predator on. I've taken away a lot of the noise from the VWAP Predator and just put the signal candles on. So we can see here, we've had the pullback into that 80% zone, that middle zone down where my cursor is here. And then we get eventually we get a VWAP Predator's buy signal at this point. It does then go on to hit target 3, come back, pulls back. Then we get a buy signal at this point here, and then so on and so forth. But the main signal, the main reason I use the VWAP Predator is to add to my position. So I've had a type 1 buy, I'm in, it's come back to test that same zone again, and then I've got a buy signal with a VWAP Predator. So if I'm trading futures, I've put one contract on there, that's when I add a second contract. And then it, as you can see, it continues to go up with those without another signal. So that's the first introduction to VWAP Predator. So let's go back to it now to the different types of trades. So this is a type 2 trade. Predominantly this has a shallower pullback. It still goes into the zone, so you can see here this pulled back into that 85% zone, but the overall pullback from this initial move down is quite shallow. Another set of criteria for that signal, but it does take it. As we can see here, it blasts through target 1, target 2, target 3 and comes all the way down to this point here, and eventually that trading stop will get taken out. So this is Bitcoin actually, and again what I've done now is introduce a different chart type. So the Renko ATR is extremely good with the Slingshot for TradingView, and this is a 45-minute on the ATR Renko ATR 14. Really strong trade this on Bitcoin. We're going to type 2 buy here again. We can see it pushed up, pulled back, found support at that 75% zone, and then it just continued to go all the way until it takes a trailing stop out. So really really strong type 2 trade there. Bitcoin Bitcoin futures, but also on this 45, this Renko ATR chart, which it really smooths out price action and works very well with the slingshot there. Type 3s now, these are trend failures. Okay, so I've got two examples. This first example is on Solano. I mean, I actually took this trade. Again, I did this manually before we had this, because this is a strategy that I've been using for years. So I bought Solano down around about $25 and sold it all the way up here 150. Okay, so this was continuing to go down. We've got a type 1 sell actually with a trailing stop getting taken out, and then what it does, it pulls into another pullback zone, thinking it's, you know, the price action should go short, but it breaks that pullback zone. That's when it prints a type 3 buy in this situation, and it is a trend failure for that previous bearish trend, and we go long. And obviously with there's no targets, we just use a trailing stop. So this is another normal example for Forex traders. This is New Zealand US dollar. Again, I'm using the ATR 14 Renko 45-second shot. Although it says 45 seconds, some of these bricks can take 5, 10, 15 minutes, depending on the time of the day. But this is what we'd call a typical day with a slingshot. So we got a type 2 buy down the bottom here. We're in that 75% zone. It goes target 1, target 2, target 3. It hangs around that target 3 before taking a trailing stop out. Tries to go again, pulls back and get another type 2 buy. This time finds support in the 80% zone. So this bullish trend's really good. We'll be able to get in target 1, target 2, target 3, and then that trailing stop. So we're really good. But then we get another pullback zone, thinking, hey, this bullish trend should be going. We get a trend failure. We get a type 3 sell at this point. We get the trend failure, come down, and all the way until we take out that trailing stop there. So this is what we call in the groove. So this is a Forex pair on this 45-second Renko ATR 14 chart, which is in the groove for the slingshot. They're really strong. 3 trades, 2 longs. Then we get the trend failure type 3, and we get the short trade at that point there. So this is spot gold, and I wanted to go through sometimes that we do get a type 1 and a type 2 buy or sell signal. In this case it's a buy signal. This time we're on the 1 minute Renko ATR 14, and we can see that they come in very close proximity to each other. So we've got a confluence of signals there, really strong, into that 80% zone there. Really strong trade. But a lot of people, to maximize these big moves, we need to understand that there's momentum there. And a lot of the times people will be kicking themselves with, why didn't I get more lots? That was a massive move. Why was I too conservative on the lot size? This is where the VWAP Predator comes in. So the next chart is the same chart, but I've added the VWAP Predator. Okay, so now we can see these little buy signals, this blue here, okay, and this blue here. This is from the VWAP Predator. So this comes early on in the move, and this means there's momentum. It uses volume, it uses special logic that we use for accumulation or distribution candles, increased volume, greater than average volume, and then coincides with where the VWAP is. So in this situation, we get the type 1, type 2 buy, we put on a certain lot size. We then get a VWAP Predator signal at this point. We can add more to the actual trade, and then we get another one at this point. We can add even more to the trade because the momentum's really building early on in this trade, and this is why we've put this special edition together. This is what the VWAP looks like when everything's enabled. So if you're just using the VWAP Predator on its own, for example, all of these are enabled, but what I did on all of those examples was disable all of those so you can just see the different coloured buy or sell signals and the actual signal itself. Oh, by the way, stocks traders and investors, this is fantastic as well. This is Microsoft on the weekly. This type 1 buy signal came in a year ago, September 2023. I'm making this video towards the end of September 2024. This was a fantastic move on Microsoft, pushed all the way up, target 1, target 2, pulled back into another pullback zone. We didn't get a signal, but this was another strong move, little dip, pushed up to target 2. Really strong move on Microsoft. So again, it's not just for Forex, for futures, for crypto, also for stocks on all different time frames. So this is a TradingView Slingshot Special Edition. So what we've done, usually we just lease this for 6 months with the xBrat Slingshot, but what we've done, we've put a bonus of 6 months lease for the VWAP Predator as well, because we are so really proud of both of how these work together to give us those initial signals, but also then using the VWAP Predator to add lot sizes and contract sizes to those moves with really high potential. So this combination, this confluence of signals is very strong. So check out the link below and get hold of the TradingView Slingshot Special Edition, which includes 6 months access to the xBrat Slingshot and a bonus 6 months access to the xBrat VWAP Predator.